Let's go ahead and listen to the past furor, the American fascist Donald Jennifer Trump.
It's a mess. It's a mess like nobody's ever seen before. This is the most embarrassing moment in our country's history. It's a military defeat. It's a psychological defeat.
The worst moment in American history, most embarrassing moment in American history. What about the War of 1812? You know the War of 1812, the British burnt down the White House? The British burnt down the White House, but that was, probably in response to the assassination of Tecumseh. Well, that was a bad moment in American history, the assassination of Tecumseh. What about 9/11? 9/11, there's a bad moment in American history. JFK, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, RFK, Emmett Till, Medgar Evers, the assassination. All these are pretty bad. What about, 9/11 was pretty bad, but Ronald Reagan giving the weapons to bin Laden, that wasn't very good. Ronald Reagan, he sent 300 Marines into Lebanon, and they all got murdered. Just one big truck bomb, and they all got blown to smithereens. So that was a loss. That was a loss. So the War of 1812, the Lebanon War, is that what we would call that? The Lebanon War, Somalia. We've been fucking with Somalia for quite some time. Yemen, in Yemen, Vietnam, the worst moment so far, what I have read and, heard, about 7 to 20 Afghani people have been killed, riding on the planes or what have you. So 7 to 20 Afghanistan people have been killed, 7 to 20 with the U.S. withdrawal. So after 20 years, right, 7 to 20 Afghanistan folks are going to get killed. So just on terms of body count, the Bay of Pigs. The Bay of Pigs that was a fucking massacre, right? The Teapot Dome scandal. Who knows how many people died with the Teapot Dome scandal? But the Lebanon, that was, 300 Marines. 300 Marines, that's more than 20. 300 is more than 20. You had the Wounded Knee, you had Laramie, you had Paducah and Columbine. What about the Ludlow Massacre? You had 21 people got killed at Ludlow. So what about the Sand Creek Massacre? That's over 150. 150 Cheyenne and Arapaho Native Americans were killed in November 1864. That was by the Union forces, November 29th, 1864. And what's interesting about these dates is, Donald is going to go on and on about how the withdrawal, the U.S. withdrawal out of Afghanistan is the most embarrassing moment in American history. He's the one that actually ordered the withdrawal. He got a peace deal signed in the early 2020, and then when he lost the election, they went ahead, the Pentagon, Donald Trump's Pentagon, after Donald Trump lost the election, before Joe Biden was inaugurated, when he was the president-elect, Donald Trump's Pentagon is going to announce the withdrawal. They're going to announce the withdrawal. And they're going to announce the withdrawal, and they're going to say that Donald Trump hopes that all the American troops are back in America by May. By May. So if it would have been up to, doing Donald's plan, then the withdrawal would have happened, May, June, July, August, 3 months ago. It would have happened 3 months ago if it was up to Donald Trump. So interesting, he's criticizing anything and everything right now, but what a fucking hypocrite. What a fucking hypocrite. So the worst moment in American history, I'm pretty sure that I've, made a pretty convincing case. It's not the worst moment in American history. The Sand Creek Massacre, when over 150 Cheyenne and Arapaho Native Americans were killed by U.S. troops, that was way worse. What we're doing in Afghanistan is we're actually walking away from an occupation, a 20-year occupation. We went into Afghanistan, not with their permission, just said we're going to take over, kicked out the Taliban, the government was Taliban, kicked the Taliban out, and then 20 years later, Taliban's been basically, I don't know exactly how to think about this, but a part of me just kind of feels like the Taliban was sort of, just kind of punking America out off to the side, kind of attacking, but not really directly. And then, after 20 years, it's like America's like, we're tired, we're fucking going home. And then, Taliban's like, what? What's up now? What's up now, sucker? What's up, sucker? You ain't nothing but a sucker. Fuck, I'm tired, man. Fuck fucking shit. I'm tired. My people tired. I'm going home. So America goes home, and then what do you got, right? Taliban comes out of their rabbit hole. I don't know. That might be just the media. They haven't really told us about what's going on. When it comes to the Afghanistan war, the longest war in American history, the only time that I, took an interest or paid attention to it, or America, paid attention to the Afghanistan war was whenever there was a massacre, whenever there was a bunch of people that got killed. And so actually, Donald Trump, during his tenure in January 2018, the Taliban had killed over 115 people. So there was a worse massacre, right? 7 to 20 Afghanistan people have been killed with the, U.S. withdrawal, which was announced just recently. Was August 15th, 2021 is when Kabul is going to fall. So the Taliban is going to take Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan, August 15th, 2021, which isn't, just what, a week ago? About a week ago. So a little bit more than a week ago, 8 days ago. So let's listen to more Donald Trump. The most embarrassing moment, not the most embarrassing. Remember when we elected Donald Trump? That was fucking embarrassing. Remember when Sarah Palin almost became president? That was embarrassing. Remember January 6th when remember when he lied, the big lie? That was pretty embarrassing. Jesus fucking Christ, the most embarrassing moment. What a piece of shit. And then we're going to give this man a microphone.
Russia, China, Kim Jong-un, North Korea, everybody, they're all watching this disaster, and they're laughing at us, and they're having a good time. Europe is laughing. Europe has been very tough to deal with. Europe is as bad as China in many ways in terms of trades.
So let's go back to hear what he just said.
Kim Jong-un, North Korea, everybody, they're all watching this disaster, and it's a mess. It's a mess like nobody's ever seen before. This is the most embarrassing moment in our country, in our country's history. It's a military defeat. It's a psychological defeat. Russia, China, Kim Jong-un.
Russia, China, and North Korea are all laughing at us. They're all laughing at us. China's laughing at us. Russia, Putin's laughing at us. Kim Jong-il, one of the Kims, fucking North Korea. North Korea is laughing at us. North Korea and Europe, they're all laughing at us. It reminds me of Adam Sandler's. They're all going to laugh at you, right? Not going to get fucked in the goat ass, but they're all going to laugh at you, right? Where he's like, hey, I'm going to go out and I'm going to, go find friends. And the mother's like overprotective and is like, no, they're all going to laugh at you. No, they're all going to laugh at you. No, they're all going to laugh at you. That's what Donald Trump sounds like. What? You're going to withdraw out of Afghanistan? You're going to, implement the plan that I came up with? You're going to implement the Donald Trump plan? You're going to implement the Donald Trump Afghanistan withdrawal plan? How dare you implement the Donald Trump Afghanistan withdrawal plan? Are you mad? Is you crazy? What the fuck are you? 115 people.
North Korea, everybody, they're all watching this disaster, and they're laughing at us, and they're having a good time. Europe is laughing.
They're laughing, and they're just having a good time laughing. Just laughing and pointing. Laughing and pointing and saying, you suck, you stupid fat orange turd. You stupid fat orange turd with your stupid wig. With your ugly fucking stupid wig hair, you ugly orange turd. They're all going to laugh at you. Oh, yeah? Yeah? They're all going to laugh at you? No, they're not going to laugh at me, Ma. They're not going to laugh at me, Ma. They're going to laugh at you.
Europe has been very tough to deal with. Europe is as bad as China in many ways in terms of trade, certainly, and in terms of ripping us off in the military. And Europe is watching this, and they are laughing. They're all
laughing. Fucking Europe. Goddamn Canada. Remember Boris Johnson and all Trudeau? They were laughing at us, laughing at me. Everybody's laughing. Big fucking joke, right? One big fucking laugh. What? While Rome is burning, you got Nero just fiddling. Nero is just fiddling and laughing, drinking, being merry, getting high, telling fucking jokes and shit. Just laughing up a fucking storm. Just laughing, motherfucker. What kind of sons of bitches are these? Want to fucking laugh? How dare you? They're all going to laugh at you. Like that's the worst motherfucking thing that could ever happen to anybody. Well, Russia's laughing at you. Who gives a fuck? China's laughing at you. I don't give a shit. The dictator of North Korea, they're laughing. What about Europe? They're all laughing. Everybody's laughing. Everybody's laughing. Well, South Korea, they got their own shit. In South Korea, they figured out their shit in Nicaragua. They got a left-wing dictatorship in Nicaragua. The left-wing YouTubers should definitely speak out on Nicaragua. And then you got Canada snap elections coming up. There's a lot of shit that Tunisia just dissolved, their parliament. So what are we saying? What are we talking about? They're all going to laugh at you. Motherfucker, I got to, goddamn run this government. They're all going to laugh at you. They'll all laugh if, oh, shit.
All laughing. It's not funny for us, but it's funny for them. Too bad.
Well,
they're all laughing. Funny for them, not for us. Sucks to be us, huh? Sucks to be us.
Certainly is a very serious situation for those people left behind, Mr. President. How?
Well, Maria, you don't take the military out first. That's like the captain jumping off the ship. Maria, you don't take the military out first. You take the military out last. This is like the captain jumping off the ship as the ship is sinking, and it's crazy. And he just says,
"Oh my God, Donald Trump is sleeping. He's sleeping at the wheel." Why would anybody criticize being awake? I can understand being too liberal. I mean, there's everything in moderation, right? You can in excess, have an excess of anything. So can a person be too awake? Can you be too awake? I guess if you're awake and you're like, what, fucking high on cocaine, then you're way too fucking awake. That's too fucking woke, okay? Just be awake. You don't have to be, don't be sleeping. Is that what they're saying? If they're against being awake, are they saying they're in favor of sleeping? So, I mean, you can't move anybody unless they're awake, but they're like, you know what? Why move? Why move? Why be awake? Why be awake? Why move? Why not just go back to sleep? Go back to sleep, America. Goodness gracious. Get busy living or get busy dying. Go back to bed, America. Go back to bed. Criticize being awake. Criticize being awake. Yeah, thanks, Obama. Thanks, Obama. There's another contribution to that neoliberal right-wing fucking criticizing wokeness. We need to be awake. We need to carry on with the Enlightenment. How did we ever leave the Enlightenment? The Romantic era? No, it's the Enlightenment 2.0. And then whatever the fuck comes after the Enlightenment 2.0. That's where we're at right now. Jesus Christ. Hating fucking awake people. That's like hating a hippie. What do you hate? The music and freedom of Woodstock? I hate the damn Woodstock, all the music and the freedom and the solidarity, the camaraderie. That's really, when it comes to the hippies and them being at Woodstock, it was the camaraderie. I hated how they were comrades, them sons of it. Why would you hate a hippie? Why would you hate a fucking hippie?
I'm getting out of here. Just forget the passengers. You take the people up first, and always the Americans first as far as I'm concerned. I don't know, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but always the Americans first. And then we'll take some people that helped us. But, we can't take hundreds of thousands of people, and then they have their families and this, that. And
Yeah, very interesting. So, fucking bullshitting. Non-stop with the fucking lies. Non-stop. Let's actually listen to a critic of the withdrawal, and let's hear what, a person that's making some sense, but he's, using exaggeration also. Some of that hyperbole.
It is, Stuart. Good morning. The worst strategic, operational, and tactical decision in the history of this country.
The worst strategic and tactical decision, getting the White House burnt down wasn't very smart. How about JFK having the president's face get blown off? Was it the Bay of Pigs, the Teapot Dome scandal? Never forget about the Teapot Dome scandal. Never forget.
By Commander-in-Chief, who I believe is derelict in his duty, aided by the Secretary of Defense and General Milley. I think they all need to step aside. They have put Americans at risk outside the Kabul airport by giving up Bagram before we were able to get everybody out of there.
The Taliban say we, America, cannot extend our evacuation effort beyond August 31st. It seems like, therefore, we're being run out of town by the Taliban.
That's exactly right. They're mocking us. I tell people all the time, the former commanding general.
What is the mocking and the laughing thing? Losing is bad enough by itself, We fucking lost. the sting of it losing, right? If that's their fucking perspective, but it's not about the loss, it's about the people laughing. If they were, you know, if we were winning, but they were laughing, would they be like, well, shit, we gotta get the fuck out of here? They are laughing at it. I mean, who gives a shit? If we're fucking winning, we're winning. Who gives a fuck who the fuck is laughing and who's not laughing? Jesus Christ, any fucking psychopath could fucking laugh, right? Don't jackals and hyenas. A fucking hyena can laugh, you know?
Well, you can delegate all of your authority, but none of your responsibility. This is on President Biden. This is an absolute debacle. I pray for those 10,000 plus Americans there that we need to get out. And having a deadline imposed on us by a terrorist organization is not something Americans are used to. We're used to leading, and we're definitely not leading with Biden.
So the deadline is by the end of August, so August 31st, 2021, which actually, we've been announcing our withdrawal since 2014 for the last, 7 years. We actually weren't invited. We actually invaded the country. So at no point in time was, the withdrawal was always imminent. Why? We were going there to occupy. I thought we were going there to stop Al-Qaeda and Bin Laden, 9/11, stop all the motherfuckers, right, to get justice for 9/11. Occupation? We didn't sign up for occupation of an entire nation. So troop withdrawal, you had Obama promise that we were going to get the troops out of Afghanistan in 2014. And then between, fucking Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, right? Oh, Hillary, he was the peace president, right? He was the peace president. He was the one that said shit it all over the bushes about the Iraq war. And so he even mentioned there's a speech somewhere, which we might get to it, but where he was, comes into office, he's against all these wars, but when he comes behind the Oval Office, he's like, it looks different from the outside now that I'm here. Well, we need to carry on with the Afghanistan war. So you got 2016, Donald Trump said we got to get out of Afghanistan, gets into the Oval Office, then he starts airstriking a bunch of opium labs and fields and shit. So we're striking Taliban opium fields and labs. And then January 2018, the Taliban is going to kill over 115 people. More than 115 people are going to get killed under Donald Trump's watch. There's a worse moment. That was a worse moment than the withdrawal. 20 Afghanistan people got killed, and that's a tragedy, and it's terrible, and it's awful. Seeing them people fall off the fucking plane, what the fuck? I didn't realize there was that many Afghanistan people that liked us. It was like, Jesus Christ, information you could have told us yesterday. I didn't realize you loved us so goddamn fucking much. I had no clue. But I guess now I do, right? The world has a schizophrenic relationship with America. They hate us and our empire and our occupation, military adventures, but they love us and they want us to lead and be a good fucking leader. They love America, and they want us, so compared to the Taliban, America's got their shit together, right? All the money in the military and shit, that's what they got to see when it comes to what America's all about. So you had Donald Trump, he's the peace president, he's escalating the fucking war, airstriking, he did the mother of all bombs, right? That was goddamn Donald. The Taliban's killing more people, over 115 people, January 2018, and then Donald Trump is going to get a peace deal signed February 29th, 2020, a peace deal signed with the Taliban and the U.S. government. And then Donald Trump loses the election. He announces a withdrawal. The Pentagon announces a withdrawal November 17th, 2020. Before Biden gets in there, that's President-elect Biden. So Donald Trump is the one, he's going to get the peace deal signed. He's going to get the withdrawal announced. As he's leaving, he was the one that was supposed to be the peace president. And then now, fast forward to today, Joe Biden, he says we got to get out by 9/11 because it's been 20 years. If we allow September 11th to happen, which is, 2-3 weeks away, then you're going to see a lot of violence. That gives them a target. It gives them a time. 9/11, 20 years later, we're occupying a nation. We've already got Bin Laden. The hijackers were all fucking killed. They all came from Saudi Arabia anyways. What the fuck are we doing in Afghanistan or Cameroon and not Belarus? And so April 14th, 2021, Biden says we got to get out by 9/11, and then August 15th, 2021, Kabul falls. And actually, I was reading some of these headlines, and it looked like that Biden had stopped the airstrike. So you had the Taliban that was advancing, but Biden wasn't airstriking the Taliban anymore. So in a way, it almost seems like a tip of the cap is if the military, but Biden seems almost like beside himself, like he had no fucking clue, like he had no idea that it was going to turn out so badly. So I'm for the withdrawal. I think he fucked up. It's a debacle. The withdrawal's turning out to be, we could have planned. But that just shows you the entire damn war. We couldn't even fucking walk away from a fight correctly. Hey, just walk away from the fight. Okay, we're walking away. Shit, people just died. All we're trying to do is walk away from the fight. Can we walk away from the fight without, Jesus Christ, we can't even walk away from a fight without people dying, so let alone 20-year occupation. And that also shows you 20-year occupation, what institutions were built. Did we build any, schools or hospitals or roads, anything that will have a long-lasting impact for the people of Afghanistan? Because that would have been beneficial. I thought we were winning hearts and minds. I assumed we're spending billions and trillions on this shit, that we were actually doing, something good for the fucking people. But no. So when they criticize, Biden for saying, we're walking away from the fight, we're stumbling, but I still would rather walk away from, I'm not for occupation, I'm not for empire. Oppressor being the military oppressor, we're the target, we're the bad guys. And what's the good? Fucking Taliban, the motherfucking people of Taliban, when it comes to the U.S. and the Taliban, the people of Afghanistan, seemingly have picked the Taliban. So Jesus Christ, we're worse than the Taliban? That should tell us something. We should really, recheck our priorities and what the hell it is we're,
Now, a lot of military people that I've seen on this network and on Fox News have been calling for a proactive effort by American troops to break out of the cordon around the airport and establish corridors, safe corridors, so that Afghans and Americans...
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you know what the fuck is going on. So let's listen to Pompeo. Pompeo actually made a lot of sense. Here is... let's listen to the announcement. This is Donald Trump's whatever guy is saying we're going to get out of Afghanistan. So
4 years ago, President Trump ran on a promise to put a stop to America's endless wars. Today, as just announced at the Pentagon, President Trump is keeping that promise to the American people. Thank you very much. Have a great...
So that was November 17th, 2020. November 17th, 2020. And then this is Shep Smith Shepard.
Called it too soon, dangerous, and deposed by the generals. CNBC's Eamon Javers with us now.
That's the shit that they were criticizing Donald Trump for. They were saying, too soon, can't withdraw, the military-industrial complex is hungry, the war machine is hungry. You can't take away the war, that's the precious. The military, you can't take away the precious away from the military-industrial complex.
We've been expecting some sort of troop announcement, and here it is.
Is you crazy?
Yeah, here it is, Shep. It all has the end of an era feel today. At the White House, Robert O'Brien, the National Security Advisor, said that the remaining troops in Iraq and Afghanistan are going to focus on things like defending U.S. embassies and defending U.S. diplomats, and ignoring the fact now that a new administration is coming to power in the United States in January. He said that President Trump would like to see all of the remaining troops home as soon as May.
Donald Trump wants all of the troops home by May, so by 3 to 4 months. So if it was up to Donald, we would have pushed the withdrawal to have happened months prior to August.
They'll enable our American allies in their important missions in those countries. They'll defend our diplomats.
This is Robert O'Brien speaking, the National Security Advisor for Donald Trump on November 17th, 2020.
And they'll deter our foes.
Now, just about the same time he was saying that at the White House in Delaware, Joe Biden was teleconferencing with defense and national security experts about repairing U.S. foreign policy relationships. But in the short section that was opened up for reporters to see, Biden seemed as focused on putting things right here in the United States as well.
We're going to need to reinvigorate our democracy at home, strengthen the coalitions.
Oh, my God. Neither fucking Joe Biden nor goddamn Donald Trump knows if Andy Kaufman is real or if it's Tony Clifton. They think Tony Clifton is the real Andy Kaufman. That's how dense these stupid-ass motherfucking, what are they, 70, 80 years old? Jesus Christ. Let's listen to Pompeo. Fucking listening to Joe Biden and Donald Trump makes me want to listen to Mike Pompeo, to just somebody that's logical, that just can put together a coherent, logical sentence. So we'll listen and go back. So Pompeo talking about how this is, terrible, the withdrawal and this
in the region. It certainly sounds like passage to that airport is very dangerous today. America needs to work to secure that, to reduce that risk. There are lots of ways to do that. How about this, Maria, for a starting point? Make it very clear that you're not going to beg the Taliban. You're not going to implore. You're not going to plead. You're not going to pay the Taliban. If Americans are harmed as they move to the airport, you're going to go and crush them. You're going to put real costs on them. This is the model that the Trump administration had adopted, and each time we did that, we got a tactical response from the Taliban that respected the United States of America because they understood that there were things that they would not be permitted to do. Most importantly,
February 2020, helping President Trump negotiate a conditional peace deal with the Taliban to withdraw from Afghanistan. Mr. Secretary, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thanks very much for being here this morning. Give us your reaction in terms of the pullout.
Maria, thanks for having me on. Look, we were determined to get this right. There were two things that President Trump wanted to do. Everyone knows that President Trump wanted to get our young men and women back home. We began to march towards doing that, but we always knew that conditions had to be right to achieve that, and we had to have the situation on the ground right to do that. This administration just willy-nilly, with the military out of there, leaving civilians, equipment, all of those things behind. We drew down from 15,000 or just over that to about 2,500, and we had kept the order that had been there. Right? We didn't have this chaos. All the while, we took out 12,500 soldiers. When we got to that point, we went back. We looked at the conditions. We wanted to get those last numbers out, but we never found the conditions right to do so. And so we continued to pound the Taliban when they violated the agreement, right? When they moved on a checkpoint or moved in a place that they weren't permitted to. We used American power and made clear to the Taliban that there would be real consequences. What happened here, Maria, is you had a leader who was unprepared to do that. When the Taliban pushed on the Trump administration, we pushed back even harder and imposed real costs on them. When the Taliban...
The King Supers, every free
apparently
supper is
Jen Psaki and the Fox News reporter.
Thank you, Jen. There are Taliban fighters right now carrying American weapons. They're wearing American fatigues, the full kit of gear. How is that advancing America's national security interests?
Well, Peter, I think my colleague Jake Sullivan spoke to a version of this last week. But let me tell you, let me reiterate some of what he said. When the president made this decision to bring our men and women home from Afghanistan who were serving, he knew he made that decision not lightly. He made the decision with a clear assessment from his national security team about what the impacts could be. We have taken steps over the past few months to retrograde materials, to bring materials home, to make them not available to the Taliban. We have taken those steps from our military. But our choices at hand, the president's choices at hand, were either to equip the Afghan National Security Forces with the materials and the equipment and the weapons they needed to fight, or not. He made the decision to equip them with the weapons to fight, and we will continue to take steps to retrograde our materials and equipment.
But does the president have a sense that most of the criticism is not of leaving Afghanistan, it's the way that he has ordered it to happen, by pulling the troops before getting these Americans who are now stranded? Does he have a sense of that?
First of all, I think it's irresponsible to say Americans are stranded. They are not. We are committed to bringing Americans who want to come home, home. We are in touch with them via phone, via text, via email, via any way that we can possibly reach Americans to get them home if they want to return home.
There are no Americans stranded is the White House's official position on what's happening in Afghanistan right now.
I'm just calling you out for saying that we are stranding Americans in Afghanistan when we have been very clear that we are not leaving Americans who want to return home. We are going to bring them home, and I think that's important for the American public to hear and understand.
Okay, and then following up on what somebody asked, Jake, the president likes to say America is back, but his policies have Americans getting beat up by the Taliban and Afghans handing babies over barbed wire fences. Is that what he meant when he said America is back?
What the president meant is that we are going to continue to lead in the world, including being the leaders in evacuating not just our Afghan partners, not just American citizens, but also our allies. And we have done that by evacuating approximately 42,000 people over the last month. That is America. That is our men and women and our military.
We got to get out of Cameroon. We need to get 150 countries